Okay, so let's talk about how you work with a list. Now, this is probably one of the most important videos in this program, because if you can work well with your list, then you're going to see a much higher click-through rate and a much higher conversion rate. If you haven't got a relationship with your list, they're not going to open your emails, they're not going to care if they hit the spam button, they're not going to interact with you. A list is a very, very valuable resource. Through a list, you can survey your target market, you can sell products, and you can even use their knowledge and their questions to help you build targeted products for that niche. But the thing is if you haven't got a good relationship with them, you'll struggle to sell to them, because people buy from people they like. Now, you're an internet marketer. Think about the lists that you're on. Of the probably dozens of lists that you are on, how many of those do you actually read? And I'm willing to bet it's probably only one or two. You might read some of the others occasionally if the subject line grabs your attention. But in most cases, I'm willing to bet there's probably only one or two emails that you receive that you read regularly, i.e. 4 or 5 times a week, or 4 or 5 out of sort of 7 or 8. Most of them you probably ignore and just delete, and that's the way it works. They haven't built a relationship with you. You don't know them, you don't care about them, so you don't care about their emails. But once you start to build this relationship with people, so you can therefore start to sell to them, you'll find you get a much higher open rate, you get a much higher click-through rate, and your lists are much more responsive and will buy more things that you recommend. A good relationship will significantly increase your conversion rates. It can take the money you earn from your list from something that buys you a few cups of coffee and a newspaper each month to something that gives you a full-time income. I know people with relatively small lists, we're only talking sort of 20 to 25,000 people, that make a very, very good full-time income from it because they have built that relationship with them. If you have that good relationship, you're going to find it's a lot easier for you to sell to them, because you're going to make a lot more money from it. They're going to trust you, they're going to know you, and they're going to want to buy from you because you have that relationship. And part of building that relationship is to balance content and sales messages. Think back to those emails that you regularly open from certain marketers. Are they sell, or are they good quality content and the occasional sale? Which are they? Look at which ones are working for you, and you'll have an idea what works on most people. Most people hate being sold to. And you think about the number of lists you are on, and I know I'm exactly the same. I've got loads and loads of lists that I'm on that are purely sales messages, and there's only one reason I'm on them, and that's to see what the competitors are up to. I'm not in the slightest bit interested in the content, because most of the time it's garbage, and I'm getting it from 4 or 5 other people anyway. Usually the same copy and paste affiliate emails. But what I really like is there's 2 marketers that I read their emails literally every single time, and I actually miss one of them if it doesn't arrive, and I've a few times gone to look for it and sort of said, hey, what's happened, is everything alright? And these are the ones that have very good quality content and very trustable sales messages. These are people that review the products and test them before they promote them, so I know that they're not going to promote anything that is just junk. They're going to promote me stuff that works, and that I think is really important. If you are trying to really build a relationship with the list, it's a lot easier with handwritten messages. You can use sort of pre-populated autoresponder messages, but typically sending out a message once or twice a week by hand tends to get a better relationship, because you can be more current with them. If they've signed up to your autoresponder sequence and you're sending out messages about how it's a nice summer's day and it's the middle of winter, it just doesn't work. So you really do need to write those handwritten messages. Now, of course, in a lot of niches that isn't going to be possible. You're not going to want to do it because, if I'm in a dozen niches, I don't want to be writing a couple of dozen emails a week to those people. So what I tend to do is, on the niches where it's important I build a relationship, I will write handwritten messages to them. On the other niches, typically for my niche sites where I'm building lists, what I'll do is there'll be autoresponder sequences with the occasional handwritten message. Preloaded messages are useful. They're great for niche sites. So if I'm selling LCD TVs and I'm building a list, I don't want to be writing handwritten messages. I can preload an autoresponder with a series on how to buy the best LCD TV for you, for example, and it will go and sell to them. And then what I can do is I can mail the list when there's new developments in the market. I can sort of say, right, I found this really good offer. You can get this TV and it's a massive discount, that sort of thing to people. What you need to do with your list is establish yourself as the expert. You're the go-to person in that list. You don't want to sort of go, oh, my mate showed me this great product, it's really good for you, you ought to check it out. You want to talk as if you are the expert. You need to be the authority figure because that's how they will trust you. They don't want to buy from someone that's clueless. They want to buy from somebody who knows what they're doing. And if you're that expert in the field, then they want to learn from you, and that's where you need to position yourself. So if you're writing your autoresponder messages and you don't know a lot about the list, or the niche I should say, then you need to really become an expert in it, or at least an expert enough to convince people in your emails that you are an expert. The other temptation is to be unprofessional with your subscribers. Now, honestly, it's very easy. There are some real weirdos out there. Honestly, there's some right nut jobs. Once you start to build the list, you'll get peculiar emails. I've had some very, very odd ones, including people having a go at me for sending them emails. I've had people criticising what I've done, people trying to pick arguments and so on. But you just have to be professional. Remember, you don't have to reply. You can ignore them, and you can even unsubscribe and block them yourself. But always remain professional. You are the authority figure. You are a professional. And if you choose not to act in that way, then it will reflect badly upon you, and it will damage you as the so-called expert in that niche. I know sometimes it's very tempting to rise to the bait and really let rip at someone, but you have to be professional at all times. It's your professional reputation at stake, and if you damage that, it can be very difficult to bring it back again. Now, here's a fact of life. People are going to unsubscribe. It's going to happen. You know, the first time it happens, you might get a bit upset. After sort of 20, 30, 40 people unsubscribing, you're going to go, yeah, who cares? Which is fair enough. But the thing is a lot of people sweat about the unsubscribes. They get really worried and nervous and upset. And frankly, don't take it personally. People might have what they want. They might have bought their LCTV and not want to be on the list anymore. They might not be interested in what you write. They might have other things going on in their lives, whatever it might be. Don't worry about it. Just keep funneling people into the list. People are always going to unsubscribe. And so long as you can bring in more people than are unsubscribing, your list will continue to grow and be of value to you. Remember, people's lives change and they change their requirements. Now, the one point where this isn't true is when you are sending out autoresponder messages. If one of your messages suddenly triggers a mass unsubscribe, go and look at that message very, very carefully, because you've done something in it that's really annoyed people. So go and have a look, find out, and don't repeat the mistake. If it's in an autoresponder sequence, then change it and stop it from annoying everyone. Now, the other thing, particularly in internet marketing, it's not perhaps so much in other niches. In internet marketing, it's tempted to jump on the bandwagons. I mean, let's face it, how many big product launches and must-have, push-button, work-in-your-underpants products are there out there on the market? Well, not very many, to be honest, but you know, there's many that are hyped as that. So if you're going to jump on every bandwagon and email your list to death, they're going to get annoyed. They're going to get fed up because they don't want to be just sold to. They want information. If you stop before you sell them products, and you go and evaluate it, you go and check it out, make sure it's a decent quality product, then they will buy because you've reviewed it and you can go, yes, this is a good match for my list. Or you might go, well, actually, no, I don't like that. That's a really, really bad product. And so you will find that if you do this, your lists are going to trust you. You're going to build that relationship with them because they know that if you say something's good, it is good. And likewise, one of the marketers' lists I'm on, he does exactly this. And every time he promotes a product, he gets a huge uptake on it. I know from personal experience where we've marketed the product between us. I've created a product and he's marketed it to his list. In a day, it brought in close to $6,000 from his list, and his list isn't that big. It's only about 18,000, I think it was at the time. So he didn't have a large list, and it brought in about $6,000, which is on a $47 product. That's not bad. That was $3,000 each in the end in our pocket. So, if you build that trust with them and they know that the products you recommend are good, then they will buy. So it's always worth doing. It is tempting to jump on bandwagons, but at the end of the day, it's going to cause you more problems than it's worth, because your list are going to start to not trust you. They're going to look at you and think, why are you marketing me this rubbish? And you'll get your unsubscribe rate will go up, your open rate will go down, people will be happier to hit the spam button or just delete your message, which pretty much does the same thing. Now, there are people out there that sell pre-written emails. Now, these are okay, but the problem is other people have bought them, other people are using them. If you're marketing in a niche that you don't really care about, great, use them. But you think about this, if somebody's looking for information and signing up to lists in a niche, they may well have signed up to someone else's niche who's already using those emails. If they're getting the same emails, what are they going to do? They're going to delete one. If you're not the first person that they got the messages from or the person they feel they trust the most, yours will be the one that gets deleted. It's much better to write your own. Now, the pre-written ones can be good inspiration, but they tend to be quite short. The quality isn't always as good as you want to, and of course there's no personality in them. They're deliberately plain and neutral. So do think about this and think about whether or not you want to use them. I personally wouldn't. I would use them as inspiration and write something around them, but I would prefer to write my own, simply because I know that then I've got quality messages that will build a relationship with my list, and it will help me to make more money from them at the end of the day. Sure, you can use the pre-written emails, but you're going to find that your conversion rate is going to be poor, your unsubscribe rate is probably going to be high, and the list isn't going to perform as good as it could do. And that leads me into another key. Talk about yourself. Have a personality. Think about people like the rich jerk. He had a very abrasive personality, admittedly, but he made a lot of money. He got a lot of attention, and people enjoyed his emails. And if you have that personality and you talk about yourself, it really works. Now, don't use your list as unpaid therapists. I don't mean talk about yourself like that. I mean talk about what's been going on. Oh yes, I went to see the latest whatever movie, and this is, I thought it was really good. Or, you talk about what's happening in your life. I've replaced the doorknobs on my house, and it took me 6 weeks to find the right doorknobs. Just talk to them, tell them a few stories, give them personality so they get to know you and think of you as a real person. And that's going to help you a lot, because people are going to, like to look into people's lives. And if your email gives them that sort of insight into your life, that voyeuristic insight, the one that has made reality TV shows so very popular, then you're going to find your open rate goes up, because people are going to feel that they know you. They're going to feel that you're someone that they can trust, someone that they do know. So how do you work with them? What else do you need to do? Well, you've got to train them. A list, just like a dog, needs training. You've got to train them what to expect from your email. So if you send them lots and lots of emails where you're not selling anything, and then suddenly you send them an email the way you're selling something, you expect them to fall off the chairs. They're going to be shocked. They're not going to be happy, but they're going to be shocked. So don't do that. Train them to expect to be sold to. Sell to them in every single email. Might not have to be a hard sell, but certainly recommend products to them. Make sure they know that you're going to sell to them. If you never sell to them and you try to, they're going to go loopy. It just doesn't work. Lists get complacent. They think, oh, yeah, nice information, like the information. Sales message. And they don't want anything to do with it. Always sell to them. Every email needs to have a sales message in. And if you can do that, then you're going to find that it's going to really, really help you. If you sell to them regularly, they will respond to it. The thing is a lot of people will send irregular messages to their list. They'll send one today, and then one in a couple of weeks, and one a month later, and then might send a message every day for the next few days, and then they'll stop again for a little while, blah, blah, blah. It's got to be regular. If it's regular, they know where they are, you know where you are. You're training them, you're conditioning them that on a Thursday your email arrives, and that's it. They've got to look out for it because it's got great information in it. And that's what you want. They will look out for it, and if on Friday it's not there, you can guarantee if you've built that sort of relationship with your list, a fair few of them will be knocking on your door going, hey, where's my email? It's not arrived. So, sell to them regularly, and they'll respond to it, which obviously means more money in your pocket. But it's about getting that balance between information and hard sales right. Soft sales should be in every email, but once every sort of 3, 4, 5 emails, depending upon your list and your relationship with them, you can get away with a hard sell, and it will work quite nicely. So just have a think about that and how best you can do it. It varies for every niche and every list. It depends upon the quality of the relationship you've built with them. If you've not built a good enough quality relationship, then you'll struggle with the hard sells. So just balance it out and you'll find that you do okay. Like I said earlier on, if you're constantly selling to your list, they're going to hate you. Think about the marketers that send you sales message after sales message after sales message after sales message, particularly when most of them are copy and paste affiliate messages. Do you open them? Do you read them? Do you care? No, you don't. So constant selling puts your subscribers off. And particularly if you're using these copy and paste messages, it just goes to show that you're too lazy to write something. Particularly, again, in internet marketing, people think they're lazy, they can't be bothered writing to me, they just see me as a wallet to bleed dry. And you'll find that if you do that, your open rate is going to be dreadful, and so is your conversion rate. But one thing that does work, and this is quite funny, is if you use their emails in the subject line and within the email, so it's dear and then their name, or hi and then their name, and you can use their name in the email itself, it's going to impress them. Now, internet marketers, we're a jaded, cynical bunch, and we all know, oh, that's an autoresponder, you do that by this form. But people outside of internet marketing, they don't know. They think it's magic, literally. I've had people come up to me and have a go at me for sending them emails. And it's like, well, I've not been sending you emails. I've met them at conferences and things like that. Saying, I haven't sent you any emails. I don't even know who you are. Why have I sent you emails? They go, you send me an email every week. I was like, I don't send you an email every week. And I go, you do. You send it to me. It's individually addressed to me. You call me by name. It's like, I don't know who you are. And then I work out they're on my list. And I've been emailing them. And of course, I've got no idea who's on my list. There's hundreds and thousands of people on the lists. I don't know. But because I'm addressing it by their name, they think I'm writing to them individually. And it's quite funny, actually, when it happens in the end. But people can get quite offended by it. So it does genuinely impress people who don't have that knowledge of internet marketing. I think that's really, really important for us to remember. Is that, yes, we may be a jaded and cynical bunch that know all about this. But for a lot of people out there, what we do here with this list is pretty much tantamount to voodoo. They don't know how it works, and it's like magic. How do I send them this email every week with their name in it? I must know them. I must care about them. And of course, that's part of building this relationship with them. One thing you do need to do is you've got to concentrate on the subject line. The subject line needs to intrigue them enough to open it up, but it has to remain truthful. And that's where a lot of marketers fall down. Several years ago, there's a big phase where marketers went through sending emails with subject lines that were frankly big fat lies. It's like, hey, you've got a commission check and things like that. The unsubscribe rate went through the roof. The open rate was high, but the unsubscribe rate and the damage to the relationship was significant. Lying like that in the subject line is going to harm your relationship, because let's face it, people are there, saying internet marketing, people are there to make money. If you send an email that makes it look like they've earned money, then they open it up and they realise it's a sales pitch, how annoyed are they going to be? They're not going to be happy when they think, oh great, I made the commission, I'm really excited, and they see that it's you trying to sell them something. They're going to want to rip your head off. It's just the way it goes. So you want to intrigue them, make them think, oh, I'm interested, I'd like to open this, what's it going to tell me? But don't lie. If you lie, you're going to lose them, and that's not what you want. Now, working with your list takes some time. It's going to take effort on your part. It's going to take a bit of experimentation to work out what your list wants. It's going to take a while to build that relationship with them. Don't expect them to instantly embrace you as their best friend overnight. You've got to build that trust up. It can take weeks or even months to do so. But if you make the effort to do that, you'll find your conversion rate and your open rate will go through the roof. And obviously that has a direct impact on the amount of money you can earn from your list. The more people you have on your list, the better your relationship is, the better you will earn. The people who have the best relationships with their list are the ones that earn the most money. I would rather have a small list of 1,000 people which I have a solid relationship with than have a list of 100,000 people that I have no relationship with. In the smaller list there will massively outperform the larger list at all times. So that's the key. The key to making serious money from your list is to build that relationship. If you can do that, you can't fail to earn from your list.